All right, guys, so this is pretty much everything you need to do the maintenance on your 7.3 Powerstrokes. So we're going to start with just the simple oil change. So it takes 15 quarts of Rotella 1540. You can run really any brand you want. This time I decided to go with a T5 because they're out of the T4. I'm going to add this to the oil, which is I'm going to put this whole bottle in. This treats 16 quarts. And this is Stiction Eliminator. It gets build up out of your crankcase, out of your turbo, out of the H-pop, which is your high pressure oil pump. It's going to help with rough idles, hard starts, delay in throttle response, and it's going to actually help with the overall health of your engine. So we go with Wix oil filters generally. I really like them. They are, the best in my experience. I have other Fords that literally have like a piston slap unless I run Wix or something like a oh Lord, what's that one called? Not Fram. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's I think AMS oil, maybe, I'm not sure. But so back to the subject. So I put this in my fuel every time. Sometimes it's good to do a shock treatment, especially if you've just done some work on the fuel system or it's been sitting a while. I mix Lucas or AMS oil Sabre 2-stroke with it. Sometimes I use steel silver oil because I do own a landscape company. I tend to have a lot of that on hand. I put about 4 to 8 ounces every time I fill up. It helps lubricate the injection pump, piston rings, all that good stuff. Adds to the life of your vehicle. And this right here, I'm not going to change this today, but next time I do it, I will post a video. This is just your fuel filter that goes up under the hood in the bowl. You've got other filters in the tank, and I have other videos where I showed replacing those. So we're bringing this thing back to health with 300,000 miles, and I hear a lot of good stuff about Hot Shots. I run their fuel additive. It does make a difference. So I'm going to try the Stiction Eliminator, and I will see you guys when it comes time to drain the oil. All right, so not every one of us knows how to change oil. I know it's pretty basic for most of us, but there's some people who need to learn, so I'm going to show how this works. So you're going to find your oil pan. It's going to be right in front of your transmission. That's going to be a 3/4 inch bolt, and there it is, 3/4 inch bolt. And you're just going to take it, turn it counterclockwise. You never want to over tighten one of these or use an impact wrench. You want to take your time and doggone it. So let me pan move real quick. So there we go. There we go. So break the bolt loose. Should be able to do it by hand at this point. Yep. Make sure you don't drop it down in the hole. It's good to wear some gloves and have paper towels handy. You definitely can make a mess real quick. Now this is a 16 quart oil pan. You want at least 16 quarts on a 7.3 because they hold 15, and you want that extra room to be able to make sure you don't overfill it. Always make sure you empty it before you start. And so apparently whoever changed my oil last was having some fun. I was a little surprised. It's kind of funny, but I'm trying to think of who might have done that, because I have changed oil once. Might have been one of my workers. So, well, they left me a surprise. Anyways, guys, so we're gonna let this oil drain out, and then I'm gonna drop the filter next. All right, so now that the oil's down to a trickle, I can move the pan over. Sometimes you need a filter wrench, sometimes you don't. But on these big filters, it is good to give them a little extra tightening, because I've had them rattle off before, and that's a big giant mess going down the road, losing all your oil. Plus, it's just really not good for the environment. So, and I'm not a tree hugger, but common sense says it's not good to put oil everywhere. And yeah, gotta get this filter off of here. It's a little offensive to certain people. That's much better. Now you can't see it. All right, so I'll let that drain off for just a second. I should have some paper towels, but at least I got some good Milwaukee gloves on. Oh, and I'm using a rocket light. It really gives us a good view to work here. And get off of there, you greasy bastard. Come on. So you always want to make sure when the filter comes off, made a mess in the driveway there. when the filter comes off, you want to make sure that rubber O-ring came off with the filter. And in this case, it did. But if it doesn't and you put the other filter back on, it's going to burn your engine up. So that's a good thing to look for. Be right back with the fresh new filter. I'm going to show you guys how to prime that real quick, and we'll get back under here. All right, guys. So I believe in priming my filters because you don't want an interruption in the actual flow of oil. That's with any engine, in my opinion. So you want to prime it. And one other thing too is used motor oil is actually carcinogenic, which means it can give you cancer, and it's proven. So I just had used motor oil get on my hands. I washed them. New motor oil, supposedly it's pretty safe. You don't want to drink it or anything, but definitely don't have to worry about getting on your fingers so much. Whereas used motor oil can actually absorb, get into your bloodstream, and do all sorts of good stuff in the long run. So this time I'm changing with a Wix. Big old thing. Hopefully they gave me the right one. It looks a little different. So, and we got it about half full. It's a good start. Makes it so the engine doesn't have to wait so long to get oil. So once again, you want to double check. Make sure that rubber O-ring that you see right here didn't get stuck to the engine. So easy way to do that. And yeah, I'm about to touch the oil again. Easy way to do that is make sure there is no rubber seal there. Good to go. Wipe it on some rust. It's good for the truck. All right, so got to thread this back in carefully. Ooh, be easier if this was a Prius. But yeah, you get it in there, get it on there. You want to get it, you know, a lot of people put a filter wrench on there. It's not a good idea. You want to grab like a paper towel, give it like a half a turn past hand tight, and that should be good. So we want to make sure this bolt is tight as well. And we're not going to put any crazy torque on it. We're just going to get it snug. So it does not like this cheap box end wrench. I have snap-on, but I didn't feel like rummaging through the toolbox. So just maybe 20 pounds of torque. That right there. Good. Right there. Okay, nothing crazy. No impact wrenches unless you want to buy a new oil pan. And next step is putting the Hot Shots stiction eliminator in. I'm going to put that in first. Then I'm going to add the oil. That way it'll mix up. I don't want to just pour it on top after the oil's in there. Don't know how good it is on its own, just, you know, in the engine. All right, guys. So now we're going to pour the stiction eliminator in. This treats up to 16 quarts. It's a 32-ounce bottle. Now it says on the back here, you can double that up. So I could put 2 quarts into here. I don't think I need to. I actually ran a bottle of sea foam for about 10 minutes before I drained the oil. So I know I shouldn't probably be smelling this stuff, but it smells like that Orange Clean hand soap they sell at auto parts stores. It's kind of weird. So it smells pleasant. Don't think it should smell good, but anyways, guys. So we're gonna pour this in here, and need a better funnel eventually. This thing's kind of narrow. And as expensive as this stuff is, I'm probably gonna swish it around with some more oil before I finish filling this. So we're gonna start just pouring these jugs in, guys. So I bought 4 jugs, and each jug is 4 quarts, so that's 12 quarts total. Well, 16 quarts. So I couldn't find any single quarts at the store, so I'm gonna pour 3 jugs in with this. I'm gonna then check the oil. It's always good to leave your dipstick out while you're filling so you don't splash up all over it and make a mess. And I'll check back in once I get the rest of these guys poured in here. Greatly encourage you guys to get a wider mouth funnel because I'm still on the first jug. It is slow, but it is happening. Yeah. I saw wider mouth ones at the auto parts store and I thought that'd be a good idea, and then I forgot to grab it. But so we got 2 more jugs to put in here, and then I'll show you guys putting the Hot Shots and 2-stroke into the fuel. I like to do a little shock treatment every time, so I've got less than a quarter tank right now, and what I'm going to end up doing is pouring the treatment in there and then driving a mile to the gas station with that treatment in there, and then dilute it by filling the tank. But I think that little extra punch for that mile or 2 might do it good to clean out extra deposits. I don't think it's good to run extremely rich all the time on these treatments, but that's just my take. Start by pouring some of this in here. I don't have to be precise in what I'm doing. It makes a difference. It's good for the motor. It's good for the injectors. Good for the lift pump. Save a little.
When it's time for a little top up. Because when I first got this, I used to ride it around 0.20, which is fucking wasted.
You don't have to do this, but on these older diesels, it's good to do because they remove the sulfur from the diesel, and they're essentially trying to kill out older diesel engines. So I'm about to pour this in there real quick. I'm gonna put this whole bottle in, top the tank off, and check back in after a couple hundred miles and let you know how she's doing.